basically is an uncomplicated tracheotomy care. Okay, so you want to do the sectioning, and then you want to take care. Then you want to do a dressing change of that. So because of the tracheotomy, most of the people do have respiratory problems. So the number one thing you want to do is that you want to assess the patient. I will not put this in my ear; it will hurt. Okay, I'm just going to put it here. When you assess a patient of the lungs, and I see so many even nurses these days, like boom, boom, even on the F cups, they come to do this. Okay, you can't hear anything if you are listening to the front, right? Only. So when you assess the lungs, the upper lobe you must hear from above clavicles. Okay, so you will hear here. Okay, then here. Okay, you don't have to go here. They're not here. The lungs are not quite here. All right. So then you want to listen to the back. Okay, it's going to be bilateral. Avoid scapulus. Right. Those are the bones. You can still hear the lungs, but you don't hear them as well. Okay. Then you heard all the upper and lower lobes. Which lung has 3 lobes? Right. You are right. Okay. So the middle lobe of the right lung is mid-axillary and about the 4th intercostal space. Okay, so you come here to listen to the mid lobe of the right lung. Okay, then this is a complete assessment. Thank you. It's a complete assessment of the lungs. All right. So you listen to the patient's lungs. You go, well, it's wet, and I am going to do a little suctioning. Okay, but before the suctioning, and I want to make sure the patient is all good in the oral cavity. So you want to do a suctioning with the mask. Okay, you've all been to the dentist, right? Okay, so what do you think is the best way for the dentist to do the sectioning of your mouth? Mucosa, exactly. Okay, you come into the cheek, you don't go directly into here. That's why we say that you do not have a loss of reflex, right? So nobody should be sticking anything in under here for you, so that's going to really hurt you, right? Because our reflex is intact, correct? So, and I have already put some saline solution here, and I want to perform a suctioning on the patient. When you do that, you do want to wear the mask. So when the patient coughs, it doesn't get onto your face. And you always want to stand on the lateral, a little bit back of the patient, so you can protect yourself, right? Do you want somebody who has HIV and TB cough on you? No. What? You want to see if it's working? It is working. Then you want to section the patient on the side. Okay. And sometimes if you want to get rid of all the fluid, what do you say? You tell them to kiss the tube. Then you can basically get everything out of the mouth, right? Then this one is done, and this one you can just use it repeatedly, and you can put it on the side. If the patient is truly completely alert oriented, they can even section themselves. Okay, then they can do this. Right? So then you put this here. Then you go, your lungs are very, it sounds like it's wet, and I'm going to perform a suctioning. Okay, so this is what we do. I want to really be comfortable, and maybe just take your stethoscopes off if you need to, so you're comfortable, right? So you don't want things dangling, and we like to do this. I always want to make sure I am comfortable. This is the sectioning kit. So I'm going to use this first, so I'm going to place this closer to me. preparations. Okay, now I do want to manipulate the stuff inside here. This is sterile, so I am going to put on my sterile gloves first.
Yeah, this is about where I ripped mine.
Remember, you can always use two hands. I think two hands are always a little bit easier than one hand. Even if you don't have to use this hand, you know, some of you do this. That's a good idea, meaning that I don't want to touch this. But, you know, with your body, hold your body up. One, two hands is always a little bit better. Sterile, sterile. Now you can manipulate all this very easily. You want to have a little container where you can put saline solution in it. You want to take the suction tube out of the bag and stretch a little bit, so this way the suction tube is not that stiff, it's more flexible. Okay, so you get all this ready. Then you come here, prepare your cleaning kit. Okay, there are two containers you're going to be using, and I am planning to put a peroxide and the saline in here. And of course, I am going to use my sterile gloves. Yeah, look at this. Who can put sterile gloves on like this? You want to prepare, make sure they're all ready to go. Seriously.